And welcome back to Newsfeed. We have Hadas in the studio to give us all of our entertainment news. Hadas?
Thanks, guys. This is a very exciting week in entertainment news. As most of you may know, the 82nd Annual Academy Awards ceremony, or the Oscars, aired last night and did not disappoint. However, there were a few surprises. While many expected James Cameron to walk away with the awards for Best Direction and Best Overall Film for Avatar, both Oscars went to Kathryn Bigelow for The Hurt Locker. Her win is a historic feat, for she's the first woman ever to receive the award for Best Direction. Other winners included Sandra Bullock for Best Leading Actress, Christoph Waltz for Best Supporting Actor, and Up for Best Animated Film. The speeches were heartfelt, the designer dresses and suits were gorgeous, and Steve Martin and Alec Baldwin were shameless. All in all, the 3.5-hour ceremony was very much worth watching. And speaking of the Oscars, many viewers missed the first half hour or so of the ceremony due to the tense standoff between Cablevision and the ABC network. ABC warned Cablevision that if the provider would not grant the network an extra $40 million per year, they would shut down transmission on Sunday, leaving Cablevision viewers unable to view the show or any other programming. When Cablevision refused to yield to their demands, ABC followed through with the threat. The two settled mid-ceremony. Details of the agreement have yet to be released, but seeing as leaders of both issued bitter public statements about the conflict over the course of the past week, it will be interesting to see how the two manage to work things out. And speaking of bitter relationships, Sean Penn and the press just cannot seem to get along. Weeks ago, the award-winning actor was accused of assaulting a photographer. Now, after Penn visited Haiti twice to lend a hand in earthquake relief, some critics are claiming that he was only doing so in order to benefit his own image. Penn, who personally retrieved 2 individuals from a collapsed building, offered his opinion on those critics in a CBS interview set to air this weekend. He said, quote, "Do I hope that those people die screaming of rectal cancer? Yeah, you know, but I'm not going to spend a lot of energy on it." Will Penn and the paparazzi ever learn to peacefully coexist? Only time will tell. That's it for this week. Back to Leslie and Whitson.
Thanks, Hadas. We're going to take a quick break now, but when we come back, we're going to have Evan in the studio with us to give us all of our animal news.
You know, here at Sports Night, we really wanted to try to increase the spirit of the show. You know, get more of the fans out of the stadium and into the studio.
And the game was tied at 1 until the third period when Michigan was able to find the back of the net and go on to win by a score of 2-1.
Let's go! Michigan's Jason Jung faced off against the 6th-ranked Dimitri.
You suck! You suck! You suck! You suck!
Yeah, that's really not helpul, guys. Thanks.
And despite a late surge by the Gophers, Michigan was able to hold them off and go on to win the game by a score of 75-53, bringing their overall record to 5-7-9 in conference play. All right, this is ridiculous. I'm out of here. I'm done.
But in the end, you know what? I think it's best if they remain in the Big House.
And welcome back to Newsfeed. We have Evan in the studio to give us all of the animal news.
How much is that doggy in the window? The one with the waggly tail. How much is that doggy in the window?
Thanks, Whitson. Manhattan has become very popular these days with a certain wild animal, coyote. Surprised onlookers have recently spotted these wolf relatives on the Columbia University campus and in many parts of New York City. This coyote was filmed at The Pond in the southeast corner of Central Park. Cornell University professor Paul Curtis says that several wildlife species, including coyotes, can be very adaptable and can flourish in urban parks and green spaces, such as Central Park in New York City. Curtis says that coyotes have been in the area in the past and will continue to appear there in the future. And a new study suggests that male mice drive females wild with ultrasonic love songs. Since song quality varies, some mice impress females more than others with their talents. No one is certain what makes a hit love song in the mice world, yet some researchers believe it can be determined by syllable types or endurance in singing or a combination of both. Altogether, these could help females choose the best mate. Scientists suspect that other rodents, such as rats, produce ultrasonic courtship calls too. Researchers hope that future studies on the vocalizations of mice will allow for more information about these mating rituals. And finally, shark attacks worldwide edged up a notch last year from 60 in 2008 to 61 in 2009. According to a new report from the University of Florida, 5 human deaths have been recorded last year compared to 4 in 2008. In the U.S. alone, however, shark attacks decreased in 2009. Florida led the way in the decline. They fell from 32 in 2008 to 19 in 2009. All of the shark deaths last year happened in waters off of South Africa, except for a single death in New Caledonia. Sharks love the cool waters off of South Africa, which explains why that is often such a dangerous spot for water recreation. The report did not take into account 2010 data. And that's all for this week's animal news. Back to Leslie.
Riveting.
Yeah, that was. I really liked the mice story
news.
in particular. I thought that was really cool. Anyways, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we are going to have Jennifer in the studio with us to give us all of our weird news. Don't go away.
It's Rock here. You are watching Wolf TV.
Welcome back. We have Jennifer in the studio to give us all of our weird news. Jennifer?
In Kentucky, a woman who was in jail for public intoxication found an interesting way to assault the deputy in charge of watching her. Reports say that as she was changing into her inmate uniform, she squirted breast milk onto the face of the officer. The woman is now facing charges for third-degree assault on a police officer, and her bail is set at $10,000. And in Alaska, a thief who had previously called a taxi to be her getaway car is at it again. Reports say that the 27-year-old woman was charged with second-degree felony robbery just 1 week after she posted bail on a similar case last year. The woman was accused of stealing $6,000 worth of TVs from Sam's Club and loading them into a taxi. Finally, in Wisconsin, one devoted grandmother camped out for 43 hours to make sure her grandson would be first in line for the opening of a Stevens Point ice cream landmark. Her 6-year-old grandson, Braden, joined her for the last 24 hours, and they passed the time playing games together. When prompted, the grandmother said she had no regrets. That's all for weird news. Now back to you guys.
Thanks, Jennifer. And that is all of tonight's edition of Newsfeed. I'm Leslie Dickinson.
And I'm Whitson Gordon. Have a great night.